Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good.
Nice,
You look
nice. Good
happy
to
and in a good mood. That's always a good thing.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I am. Fight time soon.
Can you just talk to me a little bit about hearing that your opponent had shifted and the change and everything? When did that happen and what were your first thoughts?
I think it happened about 3 weeks ago. I think it was about 3 weeks ago, because then that was been about 5 6 weeks out from the fight. Um, uh, yeah, they just texted me and said that there's been a change. Blah blah blah. Your new opponent is basically Leandro Higo. I was just like, okay, fuck it, let's go. I didn't have it was just okay. That was me thoughts about it. You know what I mean? And I'm just prepared to fight, so it doesn't matter who's. I've been in Thailand now for a long time training, coming off my last win, after the long layoff. So I've been just focused on becoming the best version of myself. I'm coming into my prime. So it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter to me who's in front of me, and when he walks through them.
Was there ever a moment when that first text comes in that you're like, oh my God, maybe this is the fight is off, not here's a new opponent? Was there any that of that like I'm on a roll finally? It's like I'm back. I don't want to keep this roll going.
Nah, it's the Jimmy show in Belfast. I know Bellator is going to do whatever they can to get me an opponent. You know what I mean? So, nah, I have no worries about that, and I just worry about what I can control. Do you know what I mean? Well, I just control what I can control, and don't worry about what I can't. Do you know what I mean? And never worry. Like that's their job. My job's to show up in the best version of myself, show up prepared to fight. So, I have full trust in Bellator and what they do at that side of things, and I hope they have full trust in me and my handle of my side of things. So that's just how it works, you know.
Was there any change in terms of preparing for this fight once you got the new opponent, or is the fight camp more geared towards you and less about the opponent?
Yeah, absolutely more geared towards me, but definitely some small changes. Do you know what I mean? Especially in like the very different structures of body types. So they do just change up the structure of the body type, kind of a few little pressures here and there. One fighter sits back a little more, the other one pushes forward. So one likes to get on top a little more, one doesn't mind playing off their back. So it's kind of there's a few little changes, but you know what I mean. I'm in this game a long, long time, and none of these things are a problem.
I know that there's been some changes too, with the structuring of Bellator now that PFL owns Bellator. When that news kind of broke, what were your first thoughts? Was there any hesitation or was it more excitement of like, wow, there's all these new possibilities?
Yeah, if it was touching, it was a bit different. You know what I mean? And through periods of times, because no one, no, it wasn't known until it was known, kind of thing. But there was always rumors, so it's kind of back to one of them things is where you just control what you can and don't worry about it. But there was definitely, I was like, oh, so is this kind of it now? Like, what's the deal? Is it like we're all gone and we have to get re-signed again, or what's the crack? Because no one really knew. Do you know what I mean? But it all went in a good direction, and things are exciting, and things are. I like the options. Do you know what I mean? And then opportunities, and I think whenever something happens that creates more of them, it's just a big positive for everybody involved. There's more money, more fighters, more opportunities, more shows, more audience. Do you know what I mean? More variety of audience. So it's a positive thing.
Is there any chance you may end up in the season? I know it's still a few months out. I don't know if that's been a something you've thought about, if you've been asked about it, if that's even something that interests you. Is that something maybe we could see you in at some point?
Uh, it hasn't been talked about. The only things that we have talked about is this fight and the one after. So I've just got me focus on this next one, winning that, and then winning the belt. So that's where we're at the minute. And after that happens, we can sit down and talk about it, and I'll go into that season no problem.
Is there anybody in particular in PFL that you've kind of looked at and you're like, wow, I really want to fight that guy?
Them all, every one of them in my division. Um, uh, I don't care. I'm at that kind of stage now where it's just give me who's next. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of the focus is on me rather than an opponent. If it's fucking when they put someone on the line, I'm going to remove them from it, and that's just kind of my mindset towards this. And there's definitely lots of exciting fights and people that you know what I mean. That's kind of that one's easier than this, that one's harder than this, but they're all hard. You know what I mean? They're all difficult and they're all good. So whoever gets it first gets it, and that's just how I see it, kind of thing.
How do you kind of see this fight going with Leandro? Do you see it going like all the rounds, it being a hard fought win, or do you see it in and out pretty quick?
It's definitely going to be hard, but it's going to be in and out pretty quick. So it is, but definitely, I might make it look easy, but it won't be.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me on. I
Of
appreciate it.
course. Have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
All
Bye-bye.
right, you too. Bye.